Hi everybody, welcome to the first video of the inspired Wim Hof breathing technique of the Lifestyle Program by GTS. The first video in the series is always free because we want to show everybody what we are doing in our Lifestyle Program. However, this is also in the Rehab Plus and the Rehab Platinum programs for everybody working with us, and this will be the video that shows you how we continue on with our topic during the week. Alright, so the first thing we need to learn how to do is breathe with our diaphragm. So what that means is when we're breathing, I always say this backwards, when we're breathing in, our stomach should come out. Often we're breathing with our shoulders and our chest, so as we breathe in, our stomach goes in. This is kind of like panic mode. And you will also notice if you do breathe with your diaphragm, which is when your stomach would come out, when you are in a stressful situation, you usually switch and you go back into your chest breathing. So if you're scared, if you're stressed, before you're about to cry, so a very emotional event, you will notice that you will switch from your diaphragm breathing often back into your panic breathing. But before we are aware of that, we need to make sure that we even understand what the diaphragm breathing is. So we have a cool and a quick little exercise which we can do that will help us understand if we are doing it correctly and also learn how to do it. And God forbid, if we get into a moment where we are not doing it anymore, a way that we can pull ourselves back and start breathing correctly again. Alright, so the exercise is quite simple. What we're going to do is we're going to take our hand, it doesn't matter which one, I'm going to take my right and put it over my stomach. The first thing I'm going to focus on is breathing in, but as I breathe in, I want my hand to come out. So don't worry about the exhale, just for right now, focus on the inhale. So on the inhale, I go slow. You can use your mouth, you can use your nose, you can use both. It doesn't matter. Just go slow and make sure that your hand comes out as you breathe, yeah? So it's moving this way, not going in. So again, I'm going to do it again. That was with my mouth. Now I will do one with both. And you realize as I'm breathing out, I'm paying no attention to it. I really just want to focus on the portion where I'm breathing in. So I've done both, so my nose and my mouth. I've done my mouth. Now I'm going to do my nose. Now, I'm exaggerating the exhale because I want to show that I'm really not paying any attention to it, because I want to, in this point of the drill, only work on the inhale. Once I feel I've gotten the hang of it, I'll do a few together. So right now I can feel that in those 3 or 4 breaths that I did, my hand is always coming out, and it's coming out easily. And as we warm up and we breathe more into our hand, if we will, you will notice that the diaphragm or the stomach gets bigger. This means that we're starting to understand the breath, and we can move on now to focusing on the exhale. So the exhale is also quite simple. It's the exact same drill we did before, but now we just focus on the exhale portion versus the inhale. Now, as you remember, when we inhaled, as we breathed in, our hand went out, so our stomach got fat. Now as we exhale, we want the exact opposite. We want to contract that diaphragm. So we want to pull the stomach in. Yeah? So now, instead of focusing on both, again, I'm just going to focus on the exhale. So breathe in. Okay, well, breathe in, but breathe in correctly. So focus on the inhale, yeah? Hold it for a second. And then breathe out. So you should notice that as you inhale, your stomach gets fat, your hand comes out, you hold it for a second, and you breathe out. So I'm going to do 3 together. Now you notice on the last one, I used my nose. So the first one actually was my mouth. The second one was my mouth, bit of my nose. The third one was only my nose. So play around with the technique, because all 3 are okay. Using just your mouth, using both, or using just your nose is good and okay to practice. And you want to make sure you're able to do all of them, because in those stressful situations, you will find yourself falling back into that non-diaphragm breathing. And that will either be from your nose, from your mouth, or from both. So practicing all of them is very important. And finally, a cool little test you can do, again, with your nose, your mouth, or both, is also seen in many different types of yoga practicing, but I'm going to save you guys the yoga names for them because we're not talking about the yoga breathing here. Specifically, we're talking about more of learning to control your diaphragm, which is basically yoga, but it's also a lifestyle technique that we need to keep the stress out of our body and make sure we are using our oxygen correctly. So the drill looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and use my mouth. I'll use my nose on this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. And as soon as I'm able to really control that, I'm going to go slowly, faster and faster and faster. Now you notice as I speed up, my technique is still there. That is very important because as we get quicker, it's easy for us to lose our technique. A trick that you can do if you find this happening is you can hold yourself on your feet or your legs because this will create a bit of tension within your core and then you have a better sensation of feeling the diaphragm. Or you can just slow down a little bit below the speed in which you had the mistake, correct it, and then slowly continue and try to go faster. Because as you master this, you will be able to go extremely fast, which I will show in a second. I will also hold my legs to kind of contract my core a bit to allow me to speed up, but you will see that I can control it very fast. The quality of the breath is very high, and the technique has no mistakes in it. Now you noticed when I did that and I became quicker, my breaths became shorter. This is also okay. This is really speeding up the technique. However, as we speed up the technique, that shows us if we really have mastered the movement and the control of our diaphragm. So once you have, you will understand in doing this exercise with your nose, your mouth, or both should be easy or definitely become easier. Through those exercises, practicing them during the day, you will notice that during the day, when you're not practicing them, you're sitting on the bus, you're sitting in your car, you're in a conversation, you're at a bar having a drink, you're drinking a coffee, whatever it may be, take moments and think about where your breath is. So don't try to change the technique. Just as you're breathing and you realize, oh, hey, Dave in his video said I should pay attention to my breathing pattern, pay attention to it and continue the way you were going. And what you might notice is as you get better with this exercise, you find yourself more in the diaphragm breathing and away from the more chest and shoulder breathing. However, what you will also notice is as the situations start getting stressful, you might also think of me and looking at your breathing pattern, and you will notice that either you found yourself or you felt yourself switching, or you are completely in your chest breathing pattern, which is fantastic, not to be in that breathing pattern, but to understand it, because then you can do these exercises and get right back into the correct breathing cycle.